This tutorial will cover creating a standard size countermark versus creating a countermark which has the same image aspect ratio as the original graphic. This only applies when you are creating a countermark which is associated with an image or a graphic. Let's start by choosing a graphic that we will associate with the countermark. For this example, I will use part of the graphic used on the documents.countermark.com website. To copy the part of the graphic that I want to associate with the countermark, I will use the Microsoft Windows snipping tool. This allows me to select the part of the image that I want to use. Click on New, highlight the selection of the image that I want to use, and now I can copy. Edit, copy, close the snipping tool. I can now come across to the countermark form and use Ctrl V to paste the image that I have just created. This image has a specific aspect ratio. The aspect ratio is the relationship between the height of the image and the width of the image. Your choice when you create a countermark associated with an image is, do you want the countermark to have the same aspect ratio as the image, or do you want the countermark to have a standard size? To remind yourself of the standard size of a countermark, come down to the question mark symbol next to standard size countermark, and this reminds you that a standard size countermark is 2048 times 512 pixels. Why would you want to create a countermark that had the same image aspect ratio as the graphic as opposed to a standard size? You would choose the match image aspect ratio option if you wanted to create a countermark which would replace the image in secure documents. For example, if the image contained sensitive information. The steps to create a countermark are first to add a reference, next to specify the time period for which this countermark is valid. In this case, I will choose 12 weeks. And do I want to create a standard size countermark, or do I want a countermark which has the same image aspect ratio as this graphic? In this case, I want the latter, and I will now choose to generate the countermark. The countermark is now displayed in this box, and I can copy and paste it into another document, or I can download it. A separate tutorial covers the copying and pasting of countermarks into documents. Here is the graphic that was associated with the countermark, and here alongside it is the countermark that was created using the same image aspect ratio. You can see that both the image and the countermark have the same dimensions. And here is another countermark that was created using the standard size countermark option. You can see that this has a different ratio. It's using the standard size of 2048 by 512 pixels. This ends the tutorial on creating a standard size countermark or creating a countermark which matches the aspect ratio of the original image.